Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. This is Sunday, April 19. Today we're in Unit 16, Lesson 2. I hope you had a good weekend, and I look forward to another week of lessons. And in only 2 weeks, we will be finished with your book. So that's very exciting. Okay, let's start Unit 16, Lesson 2, page 90. Read and repeat. A week later. Did you talk to the vet? Yes, I did. The hedgehog is fine. Okay, everything for the barbecue is in the boxes. There are some plates and some napkins. There aren't any biscuits, but there are lots of dates. Then we'll read here. I've got some great news. The television company is coming to the barbecue. And 2 television celebrities want to interview you all. Who is it? Daniel Dean and Miranda Dean. So I have some questions for you. Where is Kathy? This is Kathy. Do you remember what Kathy found by the river? She found a hedgehog. Hedgehog, a small animal. What did she do when she found the hedgehog? Well, she saw that it was sick. So who did she call on the phone? She phoned the vet. And what did the vet do? Back in Unit 15, the vet says, I'm giving it some medicine. I'm giving it some medicine. Does the hedgehog get better? Here she says the hedgehog is fine, which is another way of saying good. Fine. Now, what is happening in this picture? This is a boy, and this is his father. Where are they going? Here it says barbecue. Barbecue. A barbecue is a picnic. Remember in Unit 15, Lesson 3, we talked about barbecues, where you have meat, salad. It's outside. It happens in the summer or the spring, but not in the winter. It says barbecues are popular all over the world. Okay, so they are going on a barbecue or a picnic. And what are they taking with them? Well, the father says there are some plates and some napkins. Some plates and some napkins. Plate to eat off of, a napkin, like a tissue, to wipe your mouth. What does the boy say? There aren't any biscuits. Does this mean there are biscuits or there are not biscuits? It means there are not. Remember, aren't is a short way of saying are not. There aren't any biscuits. But there are lots of dates. Remember Thursday, we talked about picnics. These are dates. These are biscuits. There aren't any biscuits There are lots of dates. Who else is coming to the barbecue? The father asks, or says. A television company, a TV company. And he says 2 television celebrities. This is the word celebrity. A celebrity is someone famous that most people know. They are on TV, they have lots of money, and they are very famous. Celebrity. Say it after me. Celebrity. Celebrity. This C makes an S sound. Celebrity. So 2 television celebrities are coming and they want to interview the children. What does interview mean? Interview is asking questions and getting it on video. Why do you think TV celebrities want to interview these kids? It could be that the TV celebrities heard about the hedgehog. It could be that the celebrities heard about these kids cleaning up the park. Remember, they went and picked up rubbish, cans, bottles. So I don't know. We will know later. But we do know 2 television celebrities are going to interview the kids. And what are the television celebrities' names? The boy says, who is it? And the mom says, Daniel Dean and Miranda Dean. That's a boy name, Daniel, and a girl's name, Miranda. All right, let's do this one more time. I will say and you repeat. Make sure to say it with good pronunciation. Did you talk to the vet? Yes, I did. The hedgehog is fine. Okay, everything for the barbecue is in the boxes. There are some plates and some napkins. There aren't any biscuits, but there are lots of dates. And then here, I've got some great news. The television company is coming to the barbecue. And 2 television celebrities want to interview you all. Who is it? Daniel Dean and Miranda Dean. Good job. Here are some phrases from this story. This says, there are some. What does some mean? I think in Kurdish it's hindek. So it means more than one, but it's not an exact number. For example, I could say there are some biscuits on the counter. There are some avocados in the fridge. I can't say there are some bread. I can't say there are some apple. I must use some if the item is more than one. I cannot say there are some cat. I would say there are some cats. And so I don't use some if it's only one item. Now this says there aren't any. There aren't any. What does this mean? Aren't is a short way of saying are not. There are not any. And again, we use any because the item is more than one. For example, I cannot say there are not any cat. No, it's one. Because it's are and any, I know it's more than one. So there are not any cats. There are not any apples. There are not any avocados. Okay? So we say there aren't any. This says there are lots of. There are lots of. So this is similar to saying some, but we want to make sure people know there are many. Some is more than one, but it could just be 3 or 4. Lots of means many. For example, there are lots of trees in the park. There are lots of buildings in a city. There are lots of muffins on the counter. So I must have many, many, many. This says I've got. This is a short way of saying I have got. This is basically a casual way of saying I have, but we say I've got instead of I have, but it means the same thing. For example, I have 2 apples, or I've got 2 apples. Same thing, but many Americans say I've got instead of I have. Now, look at your story. Where does it say there are some? Where does it say there are some? Here it says, there are some plates and some napkins. So we know it's not many, but there are some. Where does it say there aren't any? The boy says, there aren't any biscuits. Does that mean there are biscuits or there are not? It means there are not. This says there are lots of. Where does it say there are lots of? Here the boy says there are lots of dates. That means not few, but many, many dates. And where does it say I've got? Look for it. Here, the dad says, I've got some good news. Good news. I think in Kurdish is akhbar, so some information that is new. And he says, I've got. He could also say, I have some good news or great news, but it's very casual, very normal to say, I've got some great news. Repeat after me, there are some. There aren't any. There are lots of. I've got. Look at page 91. Repeat after me. There are some plates. They're next to the napkins. There aren't any olives. There are lots of dates. What does next to mean? Remember? If I say this, the phone is under the water bottle. The phone is far from the water bottle. The phone is next to the water bottle. Next to. This is a picnic table. For a picnic in America, maybe here. What do you see in this picture? Plates, cups, water. This looks like fruit. Yeah, it's fruit on sticks. Faki in Kurdish, in English, fruit. This looks like ketchup, maybe. This is art supplies, so maybe they're doing some art, drawing, writing. It's very colorful. There are lots of colors. You answer, what color is the grass? How many people are at this picnic? What is in the water? Fruit in the water, limes or lemons. What is this called? This is called a table, but if it's outside, we call it a picnic table. Repeat after me. Picnic table. And what is this? Trash can. To put rubbish or trash in. Repeat after me. Trash can. So these were some of the words that we learned. This is some, any, and lots of. So what does some mean? It means more than one, but not many. We use any if we are saying aren't any. This is a way of saying there aren't more than one. There aren't any. For example, there aren't any apples in the fridge. An example. There aren't any apples in the fridge. We could also say there aren't apples in the fridge, but if we say there aren't any apples, this is a stronger way of saying there's none, zero. What does lots of mean? That means it's like some, but it's more than some. So more than one, probably many, not few. Many, not few. Repeat after me. Some, any, lots of. Okay, I'll give you some examples in my own words. This will help you. So here I can say 1, 2, 3 plants. I can say there are some plants in the kitchen. There are some plants in the kitchen. Here is empty container. There aren't any biscuits. There aren't any biscuits. And then I can say, here I have some dishes. There are lots of dishes. Lots of dishes. Look around your room and try to make some sentences. For example, there aren't any books on my bed. There are lots of books on the floor. There are some clothes in the closet. Okay, there's some examples. Look around your room and try to make some examples. For example, there are some books. There are lots of sweets. There aren't any keys. This is a school bag. School bag. You all have school bags. You have not needed them for right now, but everyone has a school bag. What is in this school bag? Well, I see books. I see pencils. These are pencils. I see pens. This is a notebook for writing in. Notebook. This is an apple. Repeat after me. There are some books. There are some pencils. There are some pens. I could say there are lots of pencils. There is one notebook, or there is a notebook. There is an apple. There aren't any sweets. Let's make those into sentences. There are some books. There are lots of pencils. There are some pens. There is one notebook. There is an apple. There aren't any sweets. And there isn't a key. Repeat after me again. There are some books. There are lots of pencils. There are some pens. There is one notebook. There is an apple. There aren't any sweets. There isn't a key. So I use aren't here because the object is plural. I use isn't because the object is singular. One key, isn't. Many sweets, aren't. Here I say there is an apple instead of a apple. Why is that? Well, I can't say a and then a. I must have something in the middle, so I say an apple. If I want to say orange, I would say an orange. If I wanted to say banana, I would say a banana. Okay, so if the next word starts with B, I use A. If the next word starts with A, E, I, O, or U, then I say N. It's hard to say a apple. I must say an apple. Is this correct or incorrect? N banana. Incorrect. Is this correct or incorrect? N orange. Correct. Because it starts with an O, I must use N. Is this correct or incorrect? It's incorrect. This word starts with an A, so this must say an avocado. Is this incorrect or correct? It's incorrect. What letter does this word start with? P. P is not a vowel. P is not A-E-I-O-U. So I say a pizza, not an pizza. Let's do one more. Is this incorrect or correct? Apricot. Incorrect. What should it be? An apricot. Yeah, an apricot. Here I could say there is one notebook or a notebook. Both are good. So these are all the things in the bag. Point to some books. Here they are. Point to lots of pencils. Here they are. Point to some pens. Here they are. Point to a notebook. Here it is. Point to an apple. Here it is. And repeat after me. There aren't any sweets. There isn't a key. Khalil is key. To unlock a door, key. Well done. Okay, for homework, you will create 6 sentences about what's in your bag. For example, there are some books. There are lots of sweets. There aren't any keys. Use these words: some, lots of, aren't any. I could say there is an apple. There isn't a laptop. There aren't pens. Those are all good examples. So make 6 sentences for your own school bag. You can also do homework in your activity book, Unit 16, Lesson 2, page 65. In Part 1, put in the correct words in each blank. So here's a picture. The first example is sweets. Look at the picture. Are there sweets? Yes. So say there are some sweets. Use there are, there aren't, some, or there aren't any. What about number 2, biscuits? Are there biscuits? Yeah, here are biscuits. So you could say there are some biscuits. What about napkins? Are there napkins? No. So we can say there aren't any napkins, okay? You can skip part 2, but do part 3, write 2 sentences using these words. For example, there and olives. You could say there are olives or there aren't olives. Oh, here